Welcome everybody. It's with a little bit of sadness that Pastor Dave and I come to you with our last video for our Promises Made, Promises Kept devotional. We are wrapping up our Matthew readings, but before we get into them, I just want to throw out an invite to those of you watching. Today is Thursday of Holy Week. We have Maundy Thursday services. We have Good Friday services. We've got services throughout the whole Holy Week and Easter weekend. To see those services and the times and locations, you can go to newlifekenosha.org, and it's going to be at the top of the web page that you land on. This is a great opportunity to invite somebody, especially the services that are oriented towards just telling the story, right? So Good Friday, Easter Sunday, those are the heart of what our faith is all about. So be sure to invite a friend to those. I know Pastor Dave and we are getting super excited about the services that we're going to be a part of. The Reach/Summers Good Friday service happens at 5 and 7 p.m. out at the Summer site. And then the Easter Sunday services, the Reach service is at 8 a.m. and the Summer service is at 10 a.m. And really those services are going to be pretty much the same. So we're looking forward to having you and hope that you'll bring a friend along to hear the Easter message and kind of see that contrast of Jesus' death and then the joy of his resurrection. With that, let's get into our last few chapters here. So today we're taking a look at Matthew 26, 27, 28, and Dave has the first section to comment on for us.
I think if you were to name a disciple who is a pillar of strength, I think you'd have to start with Peter. That he's the guy who's just makes this bold confession of Jesus and who has the courage to go out on the water and walk to Jesus. Just a man of conviction and boldness. But in Matthew 26 here, we see Jesus warn this disciple not to be strong in himself. And it's something that Peter was prone to, and I think it's something that all of us are prone to too, to believe that we've got this. We hear that a lot. I can do this. God's got me, and I need him every single moment of the day, because as Jesus warns, watch and pray. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, and Peter's flesh got the best of him as it gets the best of us. So Peter's big boast in 26 is, even if all of these guys fall away, not me, I never will. And Jesus predicts the truth: before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. So Peter was cocksure of himself, and then that rooster's alarm reminded him that Jesus had warned that, and it had come true. So enjoy the familiar accounts that are such a backbone and a cornerstone of our Christian faith as we see Jesus walk this walk for us. That's all I have.
The section I had today comes in Matthew chapter 27, verses 50 and 51, which read, "And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice and he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom." This has been a verse that I've always enjoyed because it's kind of it's a big moment, right? Like everything has kind of been leading to this moment. The entire account of salvation, going all the way back to Genesis, was the separation of God and humanity because of what we as humans did, Adam and Eve, with that first sin, bringing sin and death and evil into the world and forever changing the very fabric of their being, the very DNA of their being, because they suddenly became sinful. And because of that sin, they were separated from God. And as time went on and God tried to dwell with his people, the Israelites, and he set up this elaborate system so that he, a holy and perfect God, could be near sinners, right? And you have the temple, and he's in the most holy of places, and there's all these regulations to be able to go into the presence of God, who is your God, and you are his people. But to be in his presence, you have to You have to sacrifice. You have to go through all these steps to get rid of your sin, because at the end of the day, no matter how much he is your God, and you are his people, there was still that separation, because the reality was that God is holy, and the Israelites, the people of God, they were sinful. So there was always that separation. That's what the curtain, this wall, it became a symbol of that separation between God and the people. And so that moment, it was a huge moment when Jesus finally gave up his spirit. It means that that it was accepted. Jesus' sacrifice for sin was final. It was the full payment for sin. And in that moment, when God said, "We no longer need this curtain, this wall of separation, so we're gonna tear it." As soon as Jesus gives up his spirit, that payment is finalized. God accepts it, and we ultimately see that God fully accepted it right when Jesus was raised from the dead. But already right here, right, we're getting the sense that now there's no longer this separation between God and sinful humanity, because the sin of humanity has been paid for. It has been dealt with. So just one of those pictures that I have always appreciated, because it brings everything kind of full circle that God's people had been waiting really thousands of years on, and so finally it's brought to full circle, and they can take a sigh of relief, and just as we can do today, have that peace in our hearts, that although we have a holy God, our sin has been dealt with because it's been put on the cross, and there's no longer a separation between us and God. Dave, any closing comments? I gave my invitation at the beginning, so anything you want to close us off with as we end this last video?
Just that Easter is coming. It's nice to be reflective and somber during during the season of Lent, but always make sure that that you keep it in the back of your mind and in the minds of your children, if you have children at home, that Jesus wins. This is all going to end well, with the angels saying, "He's not here, he's risen." And if you walk these steps of the cross with him, we also get to share in the benefits of that glorious resurrection.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Happy Easter, everybody. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Hope y'all have a good one. And I'm sure Dave and I will see you at some point in the future. Dave, we'll come up with more videos to do, right?
If you say so.
We'll,
If you guys you want to see more of them, we'll do them.
if y'all aren't tired of us, we'll think up something. All right. God's blessings. Have a good one.